CFM.
Welcome to CFM Radio.
We hope you are as excited as this Excite Bike Arena track for tonight's edition of CFM Radio, Video Game Music and News.
Video game music and news. What is up, Drix?
Yo, how is it going? I have been neck deep in Mugenics, and I am excited to give you the...
Indeed, we are talking games non-stop. We have Mugenics review. We have our impressions of Marathon for the first weekend. We have a smaller game that might have been flying under your radar but is getting a little bit of traction in Dench Attack.
Yeah, brand new demo that we'll be going over. And if you haven't heard about it yet, we will make sure to get you the latest.
But I think really quick, before we jump into all of our video game impressions and and coverage, Drix, I do believe we should jump into a quick little bit of
Video game news.
video game news.
Yeah, and when the news hits your wallet, we like to deliver it to you. That way, you're aware, you know what's going on as far as prices and maybe little topics of inflation appear in the gaming arena. But
Indeed.
also with yesterday being Mario Day, I got a hot slab of Mario songs to play on my playlist for everybody tonight, as is tradition.
Absolutely, because Mario Day might not mean a ton to many people, but you know what it means for you if you're a Nintendo gamer? Deals.
Sales on those sweet first-party Nintendo games.
Which never really happened. So if you are checking out, or if there were some Mario games you were holding off on, Mario Day sales are still going on, so check them out.
Yeah, I know I got a lot of Kirby and Yoshi to catch up on as far as my Switch library goes.
Seriously, I do too. But
It's a new Metroid too, Metroid Prime.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 did not a great, from what the financials were saying, not an amazing seller, but still for the fans, definitely one you want to check out, right?
Yeah, all my Samus fans.
And really quick, we're going to, because this is the video game news, GDC is this week kicked off yesterday, or kicked off 2 days ago. Sorry, it went through a few controversial rebrandings. You know, there are a lot of people. It's the GDC Festival of Gaming now. People were like, I don't know what that is. Other people were like, the name is what it is. So, you know, but no matter how you feel about it, yeah, no matter how you feel about GDC and whether or not the levity that it's bringing is warranted, one thing is for sure, Xbox is there in full force.
Yeah, really. Let's see what kind of sea legs they have to stand on, right?
I mean, you know, you're seeing them right here on screen. Old Matt Booty and Asha Sharma, the two head honchos in charge now. Gone are the days of Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. In is Matt Booty and Asha Sharma. Asha Sharma being the president, Matt Booty being her second in command, essentially. But, you know, this article over on purexbox.com, it shows it is... the titled, quote, Microsoft's 2026 GDC booth showcases an impressive look at the history of Xbox consoles. And one quick look, you don't even need to read the article really. You could just skim through the pictures and the different tweets, and you can see Xbox is there full force. 25 years display.
Yeah. Wonder what kind of shipping and handling they paid to set all this up, you know?
Hey, you know what? I gotta say it like this, Drix. I think that at least publicly facing, they're making all the right moves, right? They're really showing, they're really taking, I'm pretty sure that they are scheduled for like 6 talks. And they're all about building games for Xbox and how Xbox consoles are back. and about when the devs are going to get their dev kits. So it's an exciting time. Or at least they're trying to make it very exciting to be an Xbox developer, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, playing the face and the hearts and minds. I can't say, for myself and Vector that we've been super bullish on Xbox lately, but yeah, like you said, they're making all the right moves.
Right? They're saying all the right things.
We talking me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you can say what you want. Asha Sharma, she's trying to be a gamer, She's trying. I don't know if that's going to work out, and the whole thing is the geopolitical situation isn't very conducive to energy intensive industries right now, and computing and gaming is a hugely energy intensive industry, and Xbox cloud gaming has already been on a little bit of a decline. So it's one of those things where it's a big uphill battle, and if they can get the hardware into your hands, it's probably a win right there.
Yeah, just here's some computing power you can keep in your very own home.
Yeah, hopefully for a manageable price. Hopefully for less than $1,000.
Yeah, really. Where is the RAM?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who else is feeling this squeeze, Drix, and you'll never believe it because we don't have B-roll for this one either, but the fellas over at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Over here on
we don't have Fortnite B-roll because we don't play Fortnite.
I didn't. I actually planned on downloading Fortnite, but Fortnite, come to find out, is one of those games. It's like 200 gigs.
Oh boy.
So
yeah, I hope you don't games on your hard drive.
Yeah, I hope you don't play anything else.
Yeah, it's been long enough. I mean, they got a whole Guitar Hero in there now.
Yeah, right. They did that whole thing. They sold controllers, right?
Yeah, its own controllers.
So I get it here. Let me see if I can throw up a picture of the V-Bucks really quick. There we go. Throwing up some V-Bucks on the screen really fast. But again, like we said earlier, it's a price hike, Drix. The world's most stable cryptocurrency is going up.
Oh man. I mean, hope you bought the dip, I guess.
Yeah.
Concerned.
As far as V-Bucks are concerned, because here it is from Fortnite.com, from the horse's mouth. Quote, Fortnite V-Bucks price increase. And Drix, I just want to draw your attention to the very top of this press release. Because, I mean, if you can't say that if you could say nothing else about the Fortnite team, is that they are upfront. Quote, the cost of running Fortnite has gone up a lot, and we're raising prices to help pay the bills. Here's what's changing starting March 19th.
Man, they got the little table right there with all your price points for V-Bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pat on the back for at least being upfront. The bills are going up, so are the prices.
Yeah. And, Drix, I gotta say, it's pretty brutal, right? So they lowered the prices for because when you really look into this, it's actually kind of an interesting. It is economic at its core because the price of V-Bucks is going up. The $8.99 V-Bucks pack used to be 1,000 V-Bucks, now it's 800. The $22.99 V-Bucks pack, 2,800, now it's 400. So it's getting cut significantly in some of these places, right? Like 20% almost.
Yeah, you're still paying in the same, fiat increments, but you're not getting as much V-Buck for your buck.
Yeah, and here, you get 20% back in Epic rewards on purchases in Fortnite, Fall Guys, and Rocket League when they are made through the Epic Game Store. Or Epic's payment system across PC, iOS, Android, and web, including the purchase of V-Bucks. So that credit can be used in Fortnite. So there we go. The Epic Games always trying to sidestep payment processors. And again, this is where it gets interesting. Battle Pass updates. The Battle Pass will now cost 800 V-Bucks and award 800 V-Bucks for completing it. Previously, it cost 1,000 V-Bucks, and you could earn 1,000 V-Bucks plus 500 in bonus rewards.
Okay.
Yeah, so
The pass cost is actually going down, but that's for you to actually play and earn stuff.
right, so it's an interesting, like I said, economic move, right? You the time, right? You commit your time to playing Fortnite, completing everything, and then guaranteeing that little bit of guaranteeing that passive engagement time. Because Drix, here's the other thing. Did you know that Fortnite has what's called a Fortnite Crew, and it's like a subscription to Fortnite?
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you're getting some monthly for your crew subscription.
And yeah, so the V-Bucks grant in Fortnite Crew will change from 800 or 1,000 V-Bucks to 800 V-Bucks. Fortnite Crew subscribers will receive an email with the timing and other details of this update in your region. They're cutting your benefits.
Oh no. Fortflation.
Yeah, they are cutting your Fortnite benefits. Your Fortnite Battle Pass benefits, Drix. They're cutting them.
Oh no. Not my Fort Care, my Fort Cal.
Yeah, my Fort Cal. It's gone. I'm sorry.
Well, that might hurt if I played Fortnite.
Yeah, if I played a lot of Fortnite, I think it would be pretty brutal. But I don't play a lot of Fortnite. I don't play a lot of Fortnite at all. So it is not a big deal for me. I will say, however, that sounds like it sucks. That sounds like something that you really don't want to deal with. And it's just one of those things where, like we were saying, this is the price. It's going up.
If you want to keep these servers live and running, not go down like a lot of these other live services, then yeah, you're gonna want to cough up the bucks for the V-Bucks and talk about a recession indicator, I guess.
Yeah, right. Interesting times.
Are people growing out of Fortnite, and will this attribute to the leaving population?
I'm wondering if we're going to hear about it during the GDC.
Yeah. No, as that event is ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll come up in any of those panels and discussions and the like.
I wonder, I truly do. I truly wonder if that is going to be a talking point at the GDC this week.
Yeah, hot topic. At least Xbox is out of the hot seat as far as V-Bucks inflation.
Yeah. They could rest easy, I guess. But I will say, however, Drix, we don't need to worry about the slow news cycle because we've got the first big feature of the night, and that is your Mugenics review.
Yes, big time, big game incoming, and one of the things that pleases me most to report about this great game that I've been playing is that there are no microtransactions. It is not a live service game. This is a single player, strategy game. It's a charming, if not macabre, cat hoarding roguelike strategy game. And I gotta say right off the bat, if you're a fan of turn-based strategy games or roguelikes, you're gonna want to check this one out. Because like I was saying in my impressions, I have not found any flaws in this game. I really love the culmination of like the atmosphere and the mood. That's one of the things that leads up to the key word that is charm here. Because when I say the visuals are flashy, I don't mean like, seizure inducing. I mean, it looks and feels like a Flash game you could have pulled up on your web browser like a couple decades ago. But it has all the meat and potatoes and clever hooks and comedy that you would expect from like an obscure website like Newgrounds. And you combine that with the soundtrack, which is some pretty ridiculous like avant-garde jazz music
Whoa, okay.
And there's a lot of cool like vocal tracks on there. Some kind of rock more and some kind of ballad more, but really seriously kudos on the soundtrack because there's the group or the artists, the composers that made it. They're called Ridiculon. You can find lyric videos for just called Planet Ridiculon.
Hell yeah.
And Ridiculon is a really good way to describe it because it's like it's cute, it's funny, but also, you know, because it's like a cat hoarding simulator. I don't know if you've ever hoarded cats or had just like a large feral colony anywhere near where you live. It can get a little gross, it can get a little grimy, it can get a little disgusting, and you know, not all of these cute little babies are going to make it out alive because that's just the nature of cat survival out there. Because these aren't, again, as I said in the impressions, these aren't your cute domesticated pets that you have at home. Like, no, these are the, you know, chum bucket feral cats that crawl out from under dumpsters and, you know, might not be very nice to each other if they are put in the right situations, you know. So speaking of which, you got this living situation for all these cats, right?
Of course.
You keep them in a house, and there's a pretty cool like base building aspect to Mugenics, where you keep your cats comfortable, and that makes them more likely to breed, and certain items that you can implement as furniture will increase like the genetic mutations that your cats get, and it's really clever how the sort of abilities and the mugenics of the whole situation like interplay together, because you know, these cats, love them as you might, you have to treat them as temporary, because at some point, you know, you take them out on these runs through the city streets of Boone County, bit of a backwoods place, you know, just based on the sort of guttural visuals that, you know, we see animated in the game. But what's really cool is how these abilities and also like items and stuff, they're so random, but you can always find like a clever way forward, you know?
Okay.
After your cats retire, you could submit them to these like kind of cat weirdos, you know, a child, a lady, you know, a guy of questionable sexual preference whose name is Tink.
Oh no.
And if you you know, send your cats off to these people, they will upgrade your home in ways that will improve your gameplay, like giving you more item storage, giving you more food storage, so that, you know, during the day and night loop, your cats will be fed and taken care of. I got a little bit of B-roll of what happens at night when you end your days. So your cats will they'll try to mate or
yes, we
fight,
saw that.
you know. Yeah, it's kind of disturbing. You can turn the those animations down a little bit. Same thing with the same thing with like the film grain kind of atmosphere. I like it. I left it on for all my B-roll. But yeah, it's because of like the nature of the jazz and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to have give me a CRT filter on a game that's like pixel art, you know. You can turn it off if you don't like it, but I had a good time with the visual effects. But these cats, you take them out as soon as they grow out of being a kitten, right? Then you take them out on the field and you can assign them different classes. So I'm a big fan of like the cleric because I like my cats to stay alive when they're out there in the field. But I just unlocked the necromancer class after about 10 hours of gameplay, and like that's gonna be really fun when I get into it, because all the classes are good. Like there's no like bad class that like just doesn't do its job or fulfill its role in the party. So
Okay.
as soon as you can, you pick 4 of your able-bodied cats. You can assign them classes that give them stat modifiers and abilities and stuff, and also their sort of bloodline comes into play. Again, the mugenics of it.
Okay.
So you're trying to breed the strongest cats, and I gotta say, by like my 3rd, 4th, 5th runs, like I could feel like, you know, the genetic makeup of my cats really kicking in and
Oh
like
wow.
giving me certain advantages like in the field. So like by the time I did the first fight, like in the run, the first little combat event, like I could tell like, okay, my cats are getting pretty powerful, even though they're just little babies so far, because
Yeah.
of their breeding that I was doing. So you keep the cats that you like, and you send off upgrades and stuff. But there's been a few times where if you quit a combat mode in the middle of in the middle of a turn, you say, oh no, this isn't going very well, I'm just going to restart the game and maybe restart this fight. You will get punished a little bit.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
You get one per run. They're like, okay, you can abandon the game once during the run and restart this fight, but any more than that, and the game knows that you're being save scum, and will throw even more obstacles at you.
Oh
But the events like you're seeing as you travel across the map are all very clever. They're like little skill checks and just like random opportunities. You can unlock stat buffs or different items and stuff that will help you along your way. And again, there's always sort of like a cool and clever way forward. So even when there's like setbacks or like a cat dies or something on you, you still always feel like there's a way out. It's not super punishing, and that's why I would say this is like, if somebody has never played like a roguelike game before, or it just has even the slightest interest in like turn-based strategy games, this is definitely something you're going to want to check out, because it doesn't feel like too harsh. Like even when you're set back and you maybe demoralized a little bit. I remember there was one time I was like, oh no, I need to restart this battle, and it was like, you know what, no, let me just plow through it. And luckily, like my cat's corpse didn't get destroyed or blow up, so
Okay.
he was still with me as I was finishing the run. And man, I had actually felt really, really rewarded for pushing through that, because eventually I, with the help of my cat cleric, could get everybody back to full health and finish the run pretty successfully. I got a nice little B-roll clip of that, returning home with a bunch of new items, new experienced cats, and food enough to feed everyone.
Hell yeah. As I'm watching this B-roll, we've been, like you said, we've been playing it the whole time. I'm watching this B-roll. The more and more I'm watching it, the more and more I'm realizing there's a lot to this game. It definitely has that old school JRPG edge. Like, you give him something, it has base stats, and then it allows his attack to get like an extra buff, or like that one, when he gets hit, they take damage. +2, that one's just straight up stats. Like there's a very robust amount of abilities in this game. And then, like you're saying, the class, adding classes on top of that, plus the genetic makeup. This is kind of one of those games that reminds me of those old school monster hunting style game, or monster taming style games, like Jade Cocoon.
Or Monster or something.
Yeah, where like you were saying earlier, that lineage comes into play at moments when you're like, all right, I bred that into him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, you really are doing the mutagenics is really the best word for this.
That's awesome.
For your cat hoarding colony. But yeah, just about everything you've ever seen in like a turn-based strategy like is in play, and also sort of cleverly reworded to fit the cat theme. Like you've got poison, you've got burn, you've got like things like knockback, where the boss fights are kind of incredible too. There was one boss I was fighting who always dodges your attacks. Anytime you attack him, he just moves, so you have to like block him in like on every side, or trap him in a corner so he doesn't move, and then unleash all your attacks and stuff.
Actually sick. Very cat-like.
Yeah. And yeah, I love the way all the abilities sort of come together and like synergize, again with like the cat theme. You can cast as much magic as you have like MP in any turn.
Okay.
So if you know what you're doing and you're building stats correctly, and stats and abilities and equipping items and stuff, like your first turn you can have a cat unleash like 2 or 3 different moves, and that just feels like really powerful and rewarding. So
Blast them.
yeah, the mutations, the in and out flow of cats that you can't get too attached to, but you know, at the very end, you get to a point where there's a monster cat roaming around the neighborhood, and her name is Guillotina, and she's known for eating cats of your retired cats out of retirement to fight Guillotina.
Oh,
for just
damn.
another amazing spectacle of a boss fight. And
One last ride. Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah, and so all throughout the game, the humor like really shines. Like it's kind of like, you know, dark, unhealthy cat humor, but all the dialogue is like pretty hilarious. There's some like adult themed jokes and puns, innuendos, if you will, but at the same time, like if you kind of AFK for too long, like your cats will start meowing to the songs that you're listening to and stuff. There's some hilarious, like this is obviously a human making meow sounds, but you know, all sorts of different pitches and inflections that just add to the overall charm of the game. So good. I mean, for me, this is a complete package of a game that if you are at all interested in, you know, the roguelike and strategy turn-based kind of genres, you owe yourself to pick this game up, unless you're a little squeamish and a little you know, weak stomached when it comes to maybe some not so healthy things happening to your furry little friends. But other than that, again, 10 out of 10, no notes, or
Wow.
in CFM Radio's case, I'm giving this game a perfect score. It is a 5 out of 5. Absolutely flawless. I could see myself get stuck in this for just hours on end.
Wow. Yeah, Mugenics. 5 out of 5 from Drix. You know, and that's a big deal. I'm normally the roguelike guy. I'm normally the guy that like jumps into these games like, all right, let's do it. You know, Drix has said before, it's not like he doesn't like these games, just not really his thing. So to hear him say, oh man, I'm down with this. Like, wow.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? Sounds great. Mugenics. Check it out. If you can deal with cat violence, I guess, check it out.
Yeah. No, and hey, do you think it might be time for a music break right here?
I do, yes. I want to let this rock while we have this jam going on, because this banjo is going crazy. What is this?
You know, surprisingly enough, this banjo is the Waluigi medley from Mario Super Strikers for the GameCube. But I'm going to have a song called Cat Fight from Mugenics coming up right after this.
CFM Radio.
Best game.
We'll be back.
Clusterfuck Media.
This.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, we are back.
Oh boy, that was quite the cat scrap we just got out of. That song was called Cat Fight, cat spelled with a K, from the Mugenics soundtrack. You know, got cat, we'll
Let's fight. Hey, let's do it, right? And
Absolutely. I can't listen to that song and not laugh.
that is hysterical. And
The groove, the vibe, the charm, it's all there. It should say enough about Mugenics anyway and why I loved it so much.
And unfortunately, we have to put a slight damper because we have a little bit more gaming news.
Video game news.
Because we have a report from psprices.com.
Ooh. Yeah, the kind of news that's, might hit you in the wallet.
Yeah. And so, Drix, here's the thing. I think it was last year, around the launch of the Switch 2, you had Doug Bowser come out from Nintendo, and he said, hey, or he was asked, hey, why is Mario Kart, why is that game like $70, $80, dude? And he's like, don't worry, bro. It's called dynamic pricing.
Bruh, what even is that?
Well, Drix, I'm going to tell you. Because Sony, psprices.com, the headline here of this report is, quote, Sony is testing dynamic pricing in the PlayStation Store.
Oh, no. I don't like the way this sounds. So you're going to make things cheaper, right? Right?
Well, here,
Right.
let's right here, direct quote. What is happening? Quote, since November 2025, Sony has been running A/B price tests in the PlayStation Store. Over 4 months, the experiment grew from 50 games in 30 regions to over 190 games in 70-plus regions, including the largest market, the U.S. Sony is testing prices on its own AAA titles, launched a new IP LTM program with elastic pricing. Some PlayStation Store users are seeing experimental prices that are significantly lower than standard retail price. It looks like the controlled A/B test. Users are placed into different groups and see different prices for the same games. End quote.
Grouping.
There absolutely is, and because PS Prices, it comes with some charts. But here's a quick overview with a March 2026 update, with the U.S. joining into the experiment writ large. In our previous post, we wrote that, quote, the U.S. still isn't participating. That is no longer true. In early March 2026, we discovered that Sony had included PlayStation's largest market, the U.S., in the pricing experiment. 189 games in the experiment in the U.S., the largest set among all regions. Discounts in the U.S. are significantly deeper than in Europe, up to 27.8% for Helldivers 2 and 24.4% for The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered. New IP_LTM program, 104 games, U.S. only, testing elastic pricing in both directions, including price increases. Sony first-party hits are included: Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Gran Turismo 4. Japan remains the only major market that is not included.
Ooh, okay. So they're trying both directions at least, but yeah, squeeze some money, why don't you?
Yeah, and like that's the thing, Drix. here's the big rub is that, like, Sony is increasing prices for essentially the Eurasia zone outside of Japan
Yeah,
when
right.
it's
I mean,
already really hard to get a PlayStation out there.
yes. Why not pay more for games on a console you can barely access?
So it seems like, and if they're if this report is true, and the U.S. joined in just a month or so ago with the steepest amount of discounts, that would lead one to believe that the U.S. is they expect volume out of the U.S. as opposed
Yeah.
to anything else.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, there might be the most gamers by volume here in the U.S.
I think that is more than likely the case, and because here's just a couple of figures from the article itself. Spider-Man 2 in these are prices in pounds from $79.99 down to $69.99 compared to the United States, from where Spider-Man 2 is $69.99 and dropped down to $55.89. That is a 20% price decrease compared to Europe's 12.5% price decrease. And other
Juggling
major
Kirk.
other major publishers also are participating in this, giving with titles such as WWE 2K25 hitting discounts, and other ones, popular ones like Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 hitting discounts, but nowhere near the 20% mark. The lowest one on this table is WWE 2K25 with 17.6%. None of these are it's true, none of these are getting as deep as the ones in the United States.
Huh. Okay. I mean, yeah, that does kind of indicate they expect volume out of us, the U.S.
And here's the real dynamism of it all, Drix. Grand Theft Auto 5, the Grand Theft Auto 5 regular price $26.99, variant 1.1 $29.99, and variant 1.2 is the regular price of $26.99.
On the game most people have owned on multiple consoles and have probably played already.
Yeah. And comparing it to something like Ghost Recon Wildlands that gets an 85% discount decrease, where the regular running discount is 66% decrease in variant 1.1 as opposed to variant 1.2, which is the 66% discount as
Yeesh.
per normal. So obviously this testing is going to lead them somewhere in the way where you were saying, in that they're just going to use it to get the most money out of each individual buyer.
Gaming, it's like I wouldn't pay full price for, but I might take a 12% discount instead of like a 25 to 80% discount.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like,
Sony,
that's probably the measure.
get your stuff when it's cheap, and we say it all the time on this show. The deep discount culture and gamer culture is tight. It is intertwined. So always be on the lookout for those deep discounts. That's why the industry always wants you to feel the FOMO.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the last time the Division 2 was $3 and I didn't pick it up. Now it's I think it's still $3
Yeah,
on
I think it's
Steam right now
$3. Yeah.
to go pick it up. I've even seen Facebook or like Meta ads, for how steep that Division discount is right now. So yeah, they're trying to rub it in your face and be like, don't miss out again. What a
But
theme.
yeah, but it's the Division, so whatever. Um,
Yeah. Hooray. Again,
But-
like GTA. It's like most of you.
yeah,
have
but
had
I
any
was gonna
interest.
say most people have already played this, right? Like,
Yeah. We're just trying to get that last little burst of user base, before it's time to shut these live servers down. Maybe.
moving on to our next game.
Yeah, save these server farms so they can do, more expensive things.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, a game that is not expensive, or the demo isn't, because the demo itself is free, and I checked it out on the Switch 2. Drix. This is Dench Attack.
Densha attack, and yeah, hit me with those sweet cell-shaded visuals. I bet just by looking at it, the soundtrack is cool.
It is. It's a
Has-
very, very good soundtrack. Drix, this game is just vibes. I'm going to be straight
Yeah.
up with you.
That's the game.
Yeah, this game is just straight up fucking vibes.
Yeah.
It channels a lot, as you can see, it channels a lot of that old school, like early 2000s anime style, trying to be that like Fooly Cooly / Tenchi Muyo-esque. Like I said, very vibrant, very stylish. And there is this is a game with a surprising amount of depth to it. Now, the demo itself is very short. It's about less than an hour. So you can download it on your Switch 2, check it out, and it'll give you enough time to really wrestle with all of Dench Attack's systems, because you get 2 story missions and then you get this trick park that you're seeing right now. This is kind of what the main draw for this demo. You can play this trick park over and over and over again, and it is what it is. And you're seeing, and yes, you're seeing it on the screen. You're not hallucinating. This is a train doing grinds, flips. You know,
Did you see tricks? I love tricks.
doing a lot of cool tricks, because honestly, that's what this game is all about. This game is all about, you would be, it's easy to look at this game and say, oh, it's some kind of racing game, especially when you're playing it and you, like, where the premise is you need to be the best Dench attacker. So not only do you need to be fast in your train, you need to know how to do tricks too, up against these other Dench attackers. Like, I'm rolling up to one right now. Like, she's got this little cat bus, you know?
Oh no, not more cats.
Yeah, exactly. Not more cats. Hey, we don't kill these ones.
Okay, cool.
And this is you're seeing the tutorial right now. And honestly, there is so much to this game. It is the level of depth is surprising. There is a jump. There is an instant land. You do tricks in this game by doing a motion with the right stick. Like, doing a half circle will do like a 720. Doing a quarter circle will do a kick flip. Like,
So we're talking motion controlled here.
yeah, yeah, like I said, on the right stick. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like combining pseudo fighting game with Tony Hawk style controls, but you're always moving forward. Even though it's not really a race, everything seems very scripted. It's still, the sense of speed is still there. It's wacky as hell, and like you said, Drix, the soundtrack, peak.
Yeah. Maybe?
Yeah, it's a huge part, because you also get that's the other thing in this game. But before we wrap it up, I definitely want to check out the full game when it comes out. But one of the cool things about this game is that you do get rated at the end of every level. They give you a medal. Bronze, silver, gold, and I think you can get platinum. So you do need to do tricks, and you do need to maintain your momentum, because crashes also count against your score.
Ooh, gnarly.
So surprisingly immersive, surprisingly fun. Like, I played this demo and was very sad. I let out an audible awe when I realized it was over, because I was like,
that's a good
oh,
demo.
yeah, it was a great demo. I was like, oh man, I wanted to play the rest of it. So Dench Attack, definitely check it out, the demo, if you are on PC via Steam, or on the Switch 2. It is on the Switch 2. I didn't check it out if it's on the PS5, but definitely on Steam, definitely on Switch 2. Very cool game. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody. You got to really be buying into this mid 2000s Fooly Cooly style art. You really need to be into it.
Yeah, or just really love doing tricks on ridiculous platforms like a train. I mean,
Yeah.
who wants to hit a vert ramp in a train car? I mean, I do.
It's pretty sweet. And it's one of those things that you got to play to believe.
Yeah, I bet. Absolutely need to check this demo out as soon as possible.
Yep,
myself.
that is Dench Attack. There's a lot to it. It's very fun, and it's easy to get lost in the demo.
Nice. And you too may say, "Oh," once you're
Exactly.
multi-track.
When my multi-track drift is over.
Yeah, to bring back the initial D meme.
And Drix, I will say, we'll close up with this because I played one more game.
Oh.
And like we said, this is a very game-heavy episode. We skipped through the new releases because it's a bunch of licensed stuff like WWE 2K25. We can't even play those trailers, so we get copyright struck.
Now, as excited I am for Monster Hunter Stories 3, I still need to play any of the other Monster Hunter stories.
Yes,
and
seriously.
What kind of RPGs those are.
I can't believe you've never played those. It's actually crazy to me. But
yeah, as a Monster Hunter lover, like I should probably play the more I don't know, traditional
kid-friendly.
RPG. Yeah, kid-friendly trad RPG of the franchise.
Now, it's funny that we're using trad because the next game is pretty traditional in a way, but it's also, let's call it a new tradition. Because Drix, I've been playing a lot of Marathon.
Oh yeah. No, I ended up getting like 3 games on sale for $40, but if I didn't do that, I would have spent that $40 on Marathon.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And
my first person shooter was Don't Stop Girly Pop over the weekend, which was on my wish list. That's a whole other tangent for another CFM radio.
Oh hell yeah. But so we're gonna, like I said, we're going towards the end of the show, so we'll wrap up this with a little bit of a discussion on Marathon because this game's getting a lot of shit for almost no reason.
Yeah. I've been catching some of this wind too, and I don't like the way it's stinking. I played the Server Slam. I rather enjoyed Marathon. I couldn't really, find a whole lot wrong with it other than it was hard and I sucked.
There you go. Hey, you know what, Drake? I think when push comes to shove, that's the crux of the situation is that this game is tough.
Yeah,
it's
right.
not for everyone.
How many will take it personally or project that frustration outward onto the developers or the comment sections,
And because I will say it's out of everything that Marathon is, it's absolutely one of the most interesting games I've ever played. It's interesting for a live service game. It's interesting for a game that has such a storied it's interesting.
Yeah, why not Halo again?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They're going back to the Apple II on this one,
Yes. I mean, is that who's giving you quests?
Yeah, right. And it's all AIs, baby. So, but that's one of the things that I love about this game is actually, funny enough, is actually the world. The world and the world building that Marathon does. And the way that it immerses you in its universe. Because, that's one of the coolest parts is that, the way that it facilitates this rogue light extraction shooter gameplay is that it's all based in world in a way where you as the individual are not these characters on the screen. You're some consciousness that's uploaded to a server rack, like a brain in a jar somewhere. That gets
Armored Core 621,
No, remember the Armored Core pilots are actually people inside the fucking. They're just augmented. In this, you are literally your consciousness. They tell you your consciousness exists in a liminal space outside of your body while the body that you're inhabiting is being built. So You
Nice. I love a good cyberpunk aesthetic, you know.
Yeah, and that's one of the coolest things about it. This is like one of the best cyberpunk fantasies because it's also a cyberpunk fantasy that you from a perspective that you don't really get to see a ton from the perspective of the like from within the machine. Like cyberpunk normally you see it from like it's usually man versus machine. In this
Yeah.
it's
the Arbiter.
yeah, in this it's essentially you man as the machine, and
Oh.
the premise really sells it and really makes you feel like yeah, you know, all this shit that you're doing as like a mercenary really is just like wait, you're totally expendable. All this stuff is completely expendable, even though it lessens the blow of the extraction shooter idea. All of this stuff,
Yeah, the gun lock, right?
yeah, all of this exactly the gear fear. That's what they call it. Yeah, like
The gear feature.
the
The
gear.
guns don't matter.
Yeah, the guns really don't matter. A lot of things are easy come, easy go, and there's a lot in this game that will let you play it in a rather casual manner. But the game fundamentally, the gameplay loop, the engaging the world itself and how you engage with it is very very punishing.
Yeah, it can be, huh?
It is super duper punishing. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It could be players. It could be the cops, the UESC enemies, the AI enemies. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You get gunned down quickly. I don't care what kind of shield you have. Your shield could be blue and purple. You know, you could have like 4 bars. If you're getting beamed, you're going down. Like
Yep. It'll happen to you.
yeah, there's a lot, but that nuance is there because one of the coolest part, and I'll have a top 5. I'll have a essential tips article coming up on Friday for this game, and we'll have a couple more guides coming up in the following weeks for Marathon. But when the rubber hits the road, the game feels great. All the guns feel awesome. And the mods make the gun in this game, not the other way around. You could pull the mods off of the gun and it turns into a gray item rarity gun, right? Turns into the quote unquote low level gun. But the moment you start putting upgrades on it, not only does it change the rarity or the quality, right?
Yeah.
But it will also change how the gun feels.
Nice. Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good contrast to Arc Raiders too.
Yes, Arc Raiders. I feel like one of the things that Marathon does really Arc Raiders, like it really puts the Arc Raiders does the same thing for this game. It puts a lot of the negatives into focus. So, for example, the UI in Arc Raiders, especially on a console, 10 times better than Marathon. Way more readable, way more user friendly. I could use my D-pad to shuffle through things quickly. I don't need to fuck around with this stupid pseudo mouse.
Oh yeah. No, that's
that
a con
sucks.
for me too.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's kind of slow, kind of clunky.
Very
Unless
slow.
you're playing on a PC, like yeah, that's a hindrance for us console bees.
And then on top of it, man, I'm doing that in the middle of like essentially an active fucking war zone, trying to grab shit.
No, just clicking. Just I need to be clicking.
I need to be grabbing that and leaving. You know, like I know what it is. Like let me just click it. Like it's fucking purple.
Yeah.
You know, like
The keyboard is missed.
yeah, it's purple. So like Arc Raiders has a leg up on that. Arc Raiders is clearly built for more of a cooperative experience. The time to kill in Arc Raiders is very high. You know, like when you're gunning down another player, unless you're rolling up to him with a shotgun, you're probably not gonna like kill him instantly. So the
Will be a firefight.
Yeah, the firefights in Arc Raiders are rather non-committal unless everybody is shooting the same. You get two guys shooting the same guy, that guy's going down. But in a one-on-one, you could run away from a lot of players. In Marathon, that's not really the case. And that's even ignoring the fact that the game is clearly made to be played in teams of 3. You're seeing me right now playing in a team of 3 on the B-roll, but that wasn't my experience very much playing over the weekend. I played a lot of solo. I played in teams when I needed to get like big stuff done, and then I tried because you get randoms, you know what I mean? So you can never predict what they're gonna do. And I gotta say, there is a chill vibe to teaming up with people, but it absolutely does not have the same social aspect as Arc Raiders. There is no funny little instruments you can play and have little powwows with people. It's not that kind of game. It is, I see you, you see me, I'm going to shoot you, and then I'm just like that, run up and stab you. And you're going to die.
So I took out my gun. Anyway, I started blasting.
And I started blasting. Now give me your shit. It's just...
Indeed.
It's just like that. And it kind of, Jeff Gerstmann said it best on his show. It kind of takes the social anxiety away. Where you're like, rubbing your hands together and thinking, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, could I have negotiated with the guy? No, fuck him.
Yeah, hands down, guns out.
Yeah, hands down, guns out, in the bullets flying, and the contrast between the single player experience and the squad based experience is really cool because when you're playing it solo, it kind of feels like super high tension, almost like a horror game. Like,
yeah,
you're what's up?
Hence,
it's very tense, very very tense, especially because you can. The sound design is so good. You can hear things from like the next room over, and you could, if you got your haptics on, you could feel it sometimes in your controller. Very, very cool. Very, very great game. Am I going to stick with it? Absolutely. Like I said, I'm going to have some guides up here. There's one coming on Friday, and there will be more coming next week. I think the one thing that the thing that chaps people's asses about this game is that if you bounce off of it, it doesn't care.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those things where you can ask your buddy who loves this game and you just can't get into whatever, people take this genre a little too seriously for my tasting. Like, I hear people being like, "Oh my god, this game is evil," because it's about killing people and taking their shit. So it's so cutthroat, and I'm like, who gives a shit? It's a
Competitors do that.
yeah, right. Nothing else does that.
Of the whole genre.
And give me a break, man. You think Call of Duty's not cutthroat? Like, get spawn camped, bro. Like,
Yes.
Give me a break. It's just one of those things where I think people, when this game doesn't give a shit, it really doesn't care. You could bounce off of it. It won't. There's not something for everybody here, but the things that it does well, the gunplay, the aesthetic, the world building, the team play, the tactical nature of the game is awesome.
Yeah, I almost made it through a solo run during the server slam, and that felt a lot more rewarding than my Arc Raiders solo runs where I get murked by a machine, 30 seconds in.
Yeah, or even when you get out with Arc, this is the thing, like, I'll end on this. One of the main things that this highlights about Arc Raiders is how actually stale it is. Arc Raiders is a very one-dimensional game. There's not a lot of modular, ways to customize or modify your kit. There's not. The guns are pretty one note. You either have the good choke or the good shotgun choke or the bad shotgun choke. Take your pick. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of diversity. This game is all about finding new ways to play the game. So since that's the case,
some Destiny.
yeah, exactly, right? It's almost like they made it. Like, so
They did.
they absolutely gonna stick with Marathon. It's sweeping me up like a Hoover. Like, I'm loving it.
Like a Roomba in the night.
And with that, I do believe that is the end of the show. Drix.
And thus our show has ended. Yeah, I can't say I'm not going to revisit Neogenics before I pick up Marathon, but I'm glad we got to talk about these great games that are coming out amidst the financial and geopolitical turmoil out there.
Indeed. Always a good one. Hey, and you know what? Mugenics is like a $20 game. Marathon is $40. It's not going to break the bank. These are good. Marathon's only microtransactions are cosmetics. Everything else you get it in the game. Mugenics, no microtransactions.
Yeah.
Get some
and
games.
I'm checking out this Dench Attack demo pronto.
Yeah, exactly. Check it out. That's free.
Yup. Good times in gaming. And we can't wait to see you back next week, Wednesday night, 7:30 on the West Coast for CFM Radio, Video Game Music and News.
Video game music and news. Thank you for listening. And please give us a like, give us a comment, and subscribe for more video game music and news every week.
Every week.